So let me talk about several things that we need to understand about doubt up front today. And the first is that a lot of people think that doubt is the opposite of faith. But I explained on Sunday that it isn't, that you can still be a faithful person and have doubts. And I'm going to talk a little about that a little bit later in our podcast. Here's the second one. Many people think that doubt is unforgivable, but it's not. I mean, God doesn't condemn us because we have questions. God doesn't condemn us because we even question God. I mean, read through the Psalms and look at the wisdom literature of the book of Job. Job and David and Solomon and the writer of Psalms and Proverbs and some of those wisdom books, they had their doubts of God, and they challenged God in a lot of those things. They questioned God. And here's the thing that we need to understand is that when we question God or when we have questions for God or of God, God is big enough to handle that. I mean, don't think of God as being some little, smarmy, little bitty creature that just kind of trolls around the earth that can't take our criticism. God understands that sometimes that we struggle with things. In fact, Jesus, God in the skin, had struggles too, and we read about those in the scriptures. Here's another thing I want to just say up front about doubt is that many people think that struggling with doubt means that you lack faith. But I don't think that's true at all. I think that that's a false nomer. Struggling with God, in my opinion, is a sign that you truly have faith, right? It's a sign that you truly have faith because, listen, if you never struggle, your faith's never going to grow. And so we see some things with that. So think about it, and I'm going to use an image that all of us can understand today. So it helps me to think of doubt like as an immunization, okay? So we think about immunizations today, right, with everything that's going on. So when you receive a smallpox vaccination, perchance, the doctor usually gives you a tiny portion of the disease. And that tiny portion is just enough to activate the antibodies so that you have the strength to fight off the disease later. It gives you a chance to fight it off. It's there. And doubts can end up developing a much stronger faith if we face those doubts honestly. But I want to give you some ways to move away from your doubt to your faith. So there's 7 of these. So, hey, if you're one of those that studies numerology in the Bible, 7 is the number of completion or perfection. So there's 7 of these. Let me encourage you to write these down. These are takeaways of how to move from doubt to faith. Here they are. The first one, admit that you have doubts and ask for help. Hey, I have doubts about this, or I'm questioning this, but I need your help to understand. Do that. Secondly, recognize that faith is a choice and not a feeling. Faith isn't like something that stirs in us the night after, eating at the all-you-could-eat burrito buffet, okay? Faith is something that is really engendered in us. It's part of our soul. So recognize that faith is a choice and it's not a feeling. Here's number 3. Don't be afraid to borrow some faith. What does that mean? We all have people that we look up to. We all have people that we are journeying with in our faith life, right? And these are people that we call our spiritual friends. So when you are living in doubt or when you have some concerns with doubt, hook up with these people that you know that are faithful people that can help you and support you, and you can lean into them during this time. Here's number 5. 4. Act on your faith and not your doubts. Act on your faith and not your doubts. Number 5, doubt your doubts, but don't doubt your faith. Okay? So we can doubt that the doubt really has the power that we think it is, but we need to hold on to the faith that we have a bigger God than all of our doubts. Here's number 6, understand that there's some things that you'll never understand on this side of heaven. Folks, that's the biggest one, right? We all want answers, kind of that old slogan, we have inquiring minds, we want to know. We all feel kind of like weird when we can't give an account or a reason for something, and we feel like people are going to judge us on that. But listen, there are things that are doubts that we have and things that we will have that we are just not going to understand this side of eternity. But when we get to be with Jesus, it'll all be made known. Here's number 7. Keep going back to what you know to be true. So when you start having doubts, get yourself to go back to what you know to be true. What do you know to be true? God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall never die, but have eternal life. That God came into the flesh to be closer to you and me, that He has taken away your sin, that God has called you into His community, that He celebrates new life that comes in you. So listen, I hope that helps us out a little bit more as we dug a little bit deeper on our doubts.